We're live, man. It's happening.
We're
It's
going down.
real.
Hold on. I'll tell you. I'll tell you if we're live.
Men on Form.
I'll tell.
It's all going down on the Men on Form Facebook page, man. It's about to kick off.
Oh fuck! It's going.
Hilton versus Maxi. It's going to
Hold
be
on.
a verbal. It's
Right,
going. It's going.
It's it.
I'll just
Got to
shortcut him and cross-pollinate him.
right. Share. Share to page. Share to my page. Dump. Publish.
I'm ready to go, man.
Right.
We're live. 37 seconds. I might just count. The seconds.
We're already live, mate. We're already live.
It's happening.
We're in the game. We're in the game.
We're in the game. So I just got to share to. I'll just share to my practice page. Share to the page I manage. Okay. Say something about this. Then on form
Copy and paste, mate.
to live season 2 end of season review live episode is coming.
Really?
Cool. Right.
Ready to go?
Ready?
Ready?
I will be. Lost there. Right. I'm ready to go.
Ready?
Gentlemen and ladies, are you ready for another edition, final edition, closing review of the Men on Forum podcast / YouTube channel? Michael, what's the rumor? How you doing over there, man?
You fucker, I was waiting for you to finish so I could say to you, what's the rumour, Clive? And you fucking got in there.
I need to get in first, man.
Fucking
Summer is here.
There's a lot of rumours, mate. There's a lot of rumours. It's cooking outside, mate. So many rumours cooking outside, mate.
It's on. I'm rocking the summer salmon, man.
Summer salmon. Love it,
happening.
man.
Summer solstice. This different vibes, man. We're into the different time of year. So excited, man. This is obviously our third live episode of the season. It's actually our closing episode, our end of season review.
Yeah.
We've reached the end of spring, just tipping into the summer now, and good time to sort of look at what's gone on, look at what's happened in the season, and sort of celebrate, learn, and talk about what's coming up, man. But yeah, before we get into that, what's going on your end, mate? How you been last week or so?
I'm very well, man. I just started 75 hard again for the third attempt. It is now my third attempt 75 hard. So I'm looking forward to, I'm on my day 3 at the moment, so it's only early days. So I'm kind of
75 hard.
Yeah. I've not told you about it.
Sounds like some kind of porno film. What is 75 hard, mate?
75 days back to back of Pornhub, watching Pornhub. No, 75
I've already done that, mate. I did that earlier this year. What does that involve? I take it as some kind of brutal training.
It's I'd say it's brutal training. I said a friend to it yesterday. I was telling a friend about it yesterday. But that seems easy. I went, yeah, you fucking try and do it, right? And tell you it's not easy. But so I've done. This is my third attempt. So what it is, 75 days. You've got to work out twice a day, 45 minutes minimum, twice a day, and one workout's got to be outside, whether it's raining, snowing, or whatever. You got to stick to your diet, whatever diet that is you choose. You've got to stick to it. No alcohol, a gallon of water, and 10 pages of a book a day. You got to do it every single day.
Okay.
If you miss one or fuck up, you have to start all again. So when I first done it, I was on day 62, and I was on day 62, and I was sitting there watching. I started watching Sunderland Till I Die, and I got hooked on it. and I started watching it, and I fell asleep, and I had 2 pages left of my book to read of the 10 pages a day, so I had to start all over again.
Oh
And the
man.
second
Okay.
attempt, I got up early, got it all ready, done it, got my walk in, and we was flying out to Turkey that day, and I had to get my one more workout in before 12 o'clock at night, and we was arriving at Turkey at 7 o'clock at night, and our plane was delayed.
Okay.
We didn't get to Turkey till 2 o'clock in the morning, so I missed my second workout. So that
Oh man.
worked it out.
Okay.
So
Sounds brutal.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like when I tell people on paper, it's like read 10 pages a day, a gallon of water, which is about 3.5 liters of water, 2 workouts a day, stick to a diet, no alcohol, right? And you got to take a profile, you got to take a picture every single day, right? It's usually the little small thing that people fuck up on.
Yeah. Okay.
It's usually just a little thing like a picture or things like that, what a lot of people fuck up on, but it's quite big. It's quite a big thing. It's quite a big movement this guy's created, and it's free. It's not, you don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on a Facebook Live here. There's my wife Jen. She's now
Hey.
in. Being broadcast across the internet.
Yeah, live in the White House, and we're live in the White House at the moment. So yeah, so it is pretty brutal, mate. It is pretty brutal, but it's not like anything else, because as soon as you fuck up, that's it. You got to start again. So you can get to 69 or 73 and fuck up, and you have to start all over again.
Okay, that sounds brutal. I'm not going to be doing the hard 75.
75 hard.
I'm dialing it back a bit, man. I'm about to start this thing called DDP yoga.
I know
DDP is a wrestler. He's one of my favorite. I mean, he's not maybe he wasn't the best wrestler. He started so late in his career, but he's
a good guy.
He's a motivational guy, and he's got quite the story about, because he came into wrestling really late. He was in his late 30s when he came into it, and everyone told him that he was never gonna make it. It's too late. His time's gone, and he committed. He just kept going, and he ended up sort of making it to the top. He was world champion twice, I think, and then he's kicked on and developed his own sort of style of yoga. So I've just sort of got the intro sort of app downloaded, and we're going to be getting into a bit of that. But I don't think I'm in for an easy ride, actually.
No.
So, but he's a very inspirational guy. DDP, he's my kind of cat. So I'm sort of just going to get into a little bit of that, and then sort of cardio, just slow down a bit, start doing some long runs, long swims. So yeah, that's the training. But yeah, let's talk about the season that's just passed, man, because I know we're sort of looking forward there. But yeah, it's been quite a season, really, Michael, isn't it? This is sort of the first time we've done this. I think before we just kept going with Men on Form every couple of weeks, and we've elected to kind of like any good sportsman or sports team, sort of like go to this sort of on-season, off-season approach. We're more regular. Obviously, we've been here every week for the last 12 weeks, and then we're going to be off-season. But it's been a really interesting season, right? I've enjoyed it. It's been a different energy around Men on Form this time.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's definitely, I'm just getting up the our live video in case anyone asks any questions. So it's just sitting there.
Cool,
yeah, it has been different, hasn't it? You know, I was kind of, I think sometimes you kind of like, yeah, let's keep going, because you build momentum. You kind of build that momentum, and you're constantly kind of churning it out, and it's that consistency. But I think where we're both at with our lives and that as well, where we have our own individual things, I think the season's going to work very well for both of us, because we have busy lives as well, right? As well as doing this. But I think I've enjoyed it, man. It's funny because I've gone back and listened to some of the old episodes from when we first started, and
yeah.
Like the first ever ones we done where we introduced each other, and I'm like, man, I fucking sound awful, like really bad, like constantly going,
a lot of yeah.
Right? But you progress and grow, and it's just that's how it is. That's kind of like my message that I say to a lot of guys, like the guys in my group. Your first set of goals are going to be fucking shit and crap, right? But you stick with it, and in 3 years' time, your goals are going to be bigger. They're going to be more exciting, and it's just
showing up.
And it's just how it works, man. But yeah.
So what was your favourite episode from the season?
What are you willing to die for? That's my favourite episode. The one where we were thinking about what you're willing to die for.
That was a live one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Yeah, that was my favourite one because I kind of guessed that one. We went a little bit deeper into what we're passionate about individually and what we're willing to stand for and fight for and die for in our own lives. So yeah, I thought that was definitely my favourite episode. How about yourself?
Cool. I mean, there's quite a few, but I really enjoyed the one about following gurus.
Mhm.
Um, that was a lot of fun for me to sort of explore that area, and I think obviously with both of us having sort of stories there, yeah, I really enjoyed sort of pulling that apart a little bit and
Yeah.
seeing how that happened, and still sort of catching myself sort of getting drawn into certain things, and sort of I think that episode I really enjoyed sort of exploring there. And what I will say, anyone watching, is these episodes are all online. They're all available. So via the links above, and then I'll post them below. You can get to these episodes if you want to catch up.
Mm.
But yeah, that was a good conversation. That was a lot of fun.
What was the thing that
Um,
really stood out to you in that conversation? What did you love about it the most, man? Because we spoke a bit. Obviously, we speak a lot off air, and there's like
I
there's
think
there's
I
certain,
think I mean I did enjoy, like, from a just sort of an entertainment and a learning thing. I did enjoy your Tony Robbins story that kicked it off, and then I think it was like I was able to look back at what went on 3 years ago when I was sort of starting to follow a group and the gurus, and then I went back and watched a video of myself sort of wearing the t-shirt and just sort of what stuff I was saying, and I was just like, I was like I was hypnotized or something. So I
mm,
think it was like a really, it was the reflection that went on in that episode. I think it was a really useful one, and yeah, I had some good feedback from a few friends on that one particularly. They were like, "Oh man, yeah, that's something I've sort of seen happening to me." It's finding that balance, right, between good coaches and mentors, and not becoming them. Um,
yes,
it's
yeah.
learning from them, but we're our own people, right, with our own stuff, and we're our own sort of unique um, mix of all sorts. So yeah, no,
No,
that was
again, it was a good episode, man. Yeah, it was a good episode, and we've all been guilty of that. You know, like someone that we kind of admire or look up to. Uh, we've all been guilty of that. Where like they say, uh, success leaves clues. Copy people's success, but the part what a lot of people fall into the trap of as well is, yeah, copy their success, but don't copy them. Don't try
yeah,
and
don't
become
become them.
them.
Yeah,
Don't become them. And
yeah,
I've done that many times on this
yeah.
journey,
Both
man.
of us have got
Yeah,
guilty as charged there.
yeah.
What about learnings in the last 3 months? What's something that's you've sort of learned, whether that's men on form or whether that's through your coaching or life in general? Have you got sort of something that's sort of yeah, that's
The biggest takeaway over well,
yeah,
you could be like, what's the biggest takeaway over the last 3 months, really, right? That's
yeah,
um. Oh man, like the thing that just pops into my head straight away is just showing up and being consistent, man. Being consistent. Like, I know we had our little sabbatical from this. If we talk about men on form, I know we had our little sabbatical from it, but you go back and listen to some of them early episodes. There's some good episodes there, but there's also a lot of umming and ahhing, and there's a lot of you can tell how we've evolved over the last year or since we've come back in ourselves personally. Because at that time, I'd say, speak for myself personally, it's like I was in an okay place. I was in an okay place, I'd say. Like, and I'm talking from where I am now. So if I look back where I was when we first started Men on Form, I'd probably say I wouldn't want to be where I was then, right?
right, yeah,
But when I was in that place, and I was sharing this on a video the other day, like now where I am now, if you would have said to me a year ago, this is how your life's going to be and what's going to happen, I'd be, that's fucking extraordinary. How my relationship with my wife, my kids is, and all that, it'd be fucking extraordinary. But now I'm here and I'm living it. It's good, right? Now, if you say to me what's going to be happening in a year's time, where you'll be in a year's time, I'll be, I fucking want that. I'll rip your arm off for that. But in a year's time, when I get there, it'll be,
that's
okay,
good. Now
this
what
is good.
next?
What
Yeah,
next, right? And that's how it is. And I look back on our previous ones, lists of our previous ones, I'm like, man, we've both evolved, because what I've seen happen is the more we've done this work on ourselves and helped other people, the more clearer we are on what it is we do, how
yeah,
we kind of conduct ourselves. And the most important thing is we've embodied the work ourselves. And that's what my coach always said to me. Once you embody the work yourself, instead of trying to teach people stuff you're not doing or talk about stuff you're not doing, when you embody it, it's a lot easier and it just comes through a lot clearer, you know. And in some of those early episodes from myself, I could hear myself like really thinking and umming and ahhing and not being really clear on what I'm saying. So consistency, man, showing up and being consistent.
Yeah, it's a good learning, and I think obviously when we finished the first season, I'd just become a dad, um, and also left sort of the public sector career that I had as an analyst. So my whole life's changed in terms of becoming a dad. My whole home life's changed, and then my whole sort of career's changed in terms of my work as well. So I'm very much
Had you had left?
definitely.
Had you had left? I don't think you'd left the job when we finished.
Yeah, I left. No, I hadn't when we finished, but then when we come back online, I had.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
coming into the new season. Yeah.
Well,
So I'm completely focused on my coaching now, as well as counterbalancing that with being a stay-at-home dad at the moment. So yeah, my whole life's changed, and I think it's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
It's taught me a lot. And in between, we've been, we've obviously stayed in contact and sort of, yeah.
We did try and come back early, but it just didn't click.
It just was not flowing. We went to come back last
Two or
September.
three did we do 2 or 3 episodes? We recorded,
we actually recorded some. It was like the energy wasn't up, but I think maybe earlier versions of ourselves would have pushed those episodes through for want of doing and sort of trying to make something work rather than just waiting until when it flowed. And so I think we found that flow. And I mean, yeah, I think a big learning for me. Probably it's been the Facebook Lives, like what we're doing right now, and the sort of power of just jumping on and sort of, I have a tendency I like things structured. I like agendas. I like sort of order, and but I think for me it can be a little bit unhealthy. And so I think something you've taught me, is sometimes you just got to get in there and sort of get messy and we'll see what happens. And obviously, the Facebook Lives have been a great way of sort of expanding our reach and connecting with new people. And we had that, that one from one of our Facebook Lives who turned out to be DJ Brandon Block, synchronistically. And then we a month later, we've got him on the show and getting some great feedback from that episode.
Good episode, man. Good episode.
He's been on a journey, that cat. But that all came about from the reach of the Facebook Live. So I think it's, I still like to be organised and like to have like have things relatively structured. But I think my biggest takeaway is to sort of loosen up a little bit, and sometimes just let it flow rather than just trying to sort of overstructure or overthink it. So yeah, I think that's been my biggest takeaway from the last 3 months.
Okay, cool, man. Like something. Oh, that's right. Cool. Something just popped up on my computer. It's funny because I often say that, don't we, when we speak? Like when we met, everything for me was spontaneous. Everything was just
you're definitely holding that space.
I had no structure. The idea of structure and all that, I'm like, fuck that. I don't want none of that because it just reminded me of school. And you was the other way. But then as this journey's come on, it's like I've taken from you structure. Like I've routines and structures in my morning with what I do. So important. It's brought balance. Like where I was so far right and you were so far left, I'd say I've come more central with it from learning from you and being around yourself is planning and having more organisation in my life. And that's helped massively. So it's we've helped each other to kind of bring each other a little bit more central, like yourself, like.
I think so. That's definitely, and I think, at our core, you are always going to be holding that being more spontaneous in how you work and operate. And my natural aptitude is for the more sort of like structured, analytical, but we've definitely sponged bits and pieces from each other, and I think that's helping in the sort of evolution of the Men on Form, and we'll be able to sort of continue that moving forward. I think that's why we're a decent team. We have some fun, and I think both hold sort of different skills and bring different skills to the table. So. Cool. What are you celebrating from the last 3 months, Michael? What's something you want to sort of
celebrating, man? Well,
give yourself a tap on the back for? Not you need too much encouragement.
I'm not. Funny, I'm not. I was talking to someone about this the other day. I acknowledge my wins. I acknowledge like the good things that are happening. But I quite like the fact that I don't get too bogged down with that and get stuck in that. Like, like still sitting there with the trophy from 15 years ago on the mantelpiece. Going, yeah, look, I played for England in goal. I just thought I'd mention that just in case
Oh, there you
anyone
go.
didn't know
Yeah.
that. But that's what I'd done. Do you know what I mean? But what you're achieving now? Nothing now. I'm just sitting down, eating cheesy puffs and fucking drinking alcohol all day long, right? So I like the acknowledgement of things. I like to give myself acknowledgement, but I don't stuck in it, saying it too long. It's like, this is fucking cool. Acknowledge it. And then move on, man. So over the last 3 months, I would just say expansion and growth, man. Just like in my business and with my video going out there and helping so many people, and
Yeah, I just want to touch on that, man. I mean, some of you guys might, if you listened to last week's episode, you would have heard about this. It's been on the page as well. But early in the season, sort of about 4 or 6 weeks ago, Michael put out a video that basically has just gone viral. Up to, I don't know, was it 350, 400,000 views?
It's over 400,000 now,
Over
man.
400,000 views, and there's obviously speaking to a lot of people, and that's worth acknowledging, man. Like, because I know you day in, day out, you show up. Can't keep you off my social media feeds, man. You're there, like, just showing up, putting the reps in with your videos, and it's just that's a really powerful piece, like almost like a piece of work. And it's obviously helping to shift and serve a lot of people. So I'd like to acknowledge that from you.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
In this
Appreciate
season,
that.
man.
Yeah, I would say that's probably been my biggest win, man. And like also as well, it's not just about the video. Like, what's really blown me away, which someone pointed out about, was like the video. The amount of men that have commented on it and said, like, I've never shared this with anyone before, but man, this fucking video's touched my heart and things like that. And it's really like, this is me, and I've never shared that with anyone before. And it's kind of, the videos give people, it's given that space to be, it's okay that they're struggling. It's okay to say, do you know what, I'm fucking struggling too, do you know, and I can admit that, and share that, So that's what I was really kind of like blown away by, the amount of comments and messages that I got on it, and from all the guys, man. And I acknowledge myself for that. Things have grown from that. Getting to help a lot more men through that with their mental health and their mindset, which is fucking great, and helping. I was on the call with one of my clients this morning, and he's like, had the best weekend he's ever had. I just want to share this, man, because this is what really makes me tick. Right? Regardless of all the success and that, I had a call with my client this morning, one of my clients, and he's like, man, like, I had the best weekend I've had with my kids. My daughter wasn't speaking to me. I took her out. She doesn't want to come around and see me because all I do is sit on my phone and I don't pay any attention to him and all that. And he's making those changes, and he's out. He's with his daughter. And he just said to her, look, I've been going through some struggles. I found it a bit hard. And she's just like, all I want to do is spend time with you, Dad. And he just said, I just had the best weekend I've had for a long time, my kids. And that's my wins. That's my wins, is seeing the other guys that are reconnecting with their wives and their kids and enjoying their lives, regardless of my success. That is my success. That
you've been part of supporting them, in guiding them into that outcome.
Yeah, man,
that makes sense.
And I'd say over the 3 months, they're the wins as well, man. Like seeing guys like rekindle their relationship with their kids, man. Yeah. What about yourself, man? What's been your biggest takeaways over the last 3 months?
Biggest take, I think I'm sort of acknowledging the management of what has been a very unique time in our society, particularly around obviously COVID and lockdown. Sort of in the early weeks, I was almost at a point where I was going to say, Michael, look, let's just leave them in on form for the moment, because I need to consolidate or pull back or something. But I quite early on sort of identified Stoicism as a useful sort of operating model during this time. Picked up an audio book, you can buy it in paper, called The Daily Stoic. I know you're aware of this one, Michael. And every day, it's 365 pages. Every day it gives you a little sort of paragraph or paraphrase from a Stoic writer or philosopher, whether that's Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius, or just different people. And then there's a little bit of modern day commentary with it. And it's a couple of minutes every day, and I sort of would start my day listening to that. And it would just reground me and stop me from getting sort of over emotional, or definitely sort of help to sort of curb my anger and frustration, which particularly early on in the lockdown like a lot of people, I don't think I'm alone in saying this, I did sort of struggle with that a bit. So yeah, and it helped me stay on track, and I've sort of made some decent progress in the last 3 months. I think I could have easily just completely just thrown the baby out with the bathwater and sort of got caught on, you know, like early on I had like a real sort of media addiction. I was like hoovering up all sorts, and I just sort of had to sort of curb it down. So I'm quite sort of yeah, relatively happy with how I managed that process. Obviously appreciating it has affected and continues to affect so many people in so many different ways. But for me personally, the sort of challenges that it did brought about, after a few weeks of real struggle, sort of managed to sort of really get my head down and navigate and pull on some of the support network around me. I include you in that, Michael, my coach, my guys from my men's group, different people around me to help kind of soundboard and navigate through. So and I feel sort of quite sort of in a sort of on solid ground moving into the summer and moving forward. So yeah, that's something I'd like to sort of celebrate and acknowledge.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's good.
And I'm loosening off the stoicism. I think I went quite heavy with it early doors, but I'm mindful of the fact that I might have been keeping the lid on a few emotional things. Like, so I think sort of moving to the summer, I'm keen to loosen up a bit and kind of like express myself a bit more, maybe. Now I feel able to. Because I think early on there was a few things. It was like, you know what, I just need to get the washing finished, or just need to like be out cook dinner. It's just like had to just like micro sort of manage and keep just like, right, okay, I know that's going on. Let's just put that over there, and I'll address that sort of in the summer. And I will. You know, I've got spaces coming up to really get angry, laugh hard, and probably have a bit of a cry. But
I like it. I wanted to just add to that, if that's okay, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, I think it's been a challenging time for a lot of people. There's no doubt about it, right?
No two ways, man.
No two ways about it. And I was speaking to a friend of mine earlier that's like, you know, really struggling. You know, but one of the things that he said, and like what happened is when the lockdown happened, like, you know, I just said to myself, right, if I sit here worrying about what's going on out there, right, I'll just spend my time on social media cunting off the fucking news and just getting involved with all this stuff and saying dumb shit. Not saying dumb shit, but just not being of a service or of help, right, to a lot of people. So I just kind of brought myself back, and it's like, do you know what? I'm going to use this time just to focus on what I can control, right? And the only thing I can control was myself, right, man? And there was times that I was kind of wanting to edge over that line.
Yeah, both of us, man.
Yeah, and but you know, and I think that's pretty natural for everyone, man. But you know, like over this time, I've got to say a lot of good has come out of this as well for me, and I'm, you know, and that's just, you know, me and my family and stuff, man. There's some good that's come out of it, and I know it's a tragic thing, and people lose their lives and that. But the only thing you have control over is yourself, and I think that really kind of hit home to me a lot at the beginning of this as well, man. It's like,
yeah, I mean, quite early on, I was like, I'm like through stoicism, I was like, okay, so what can I control, right? I might get this virus at some point. So, and I mean, I'm asthmatic, mild asthmatic, but it is one of the sort of, you know, one of the sort of warning sort of puts me a little bit more at risk, essentially. So it's like, what can I do? So I adapted my training. So I started to train for a 5K and started to do sprints, and kind of like, so almost like preparing for if I end up with this virus at some stage. So my lungs are in the best place possible to handle it.
nice.
It's like taking control in that way. I guess the final thing on this is that quite early on, it was like, well, do I want to be a victim on this, or do I want to be a leader?
Yeah.
And so sort of particularly sort of the last sort of 4 to 6 weeks was, no, actually I want to be a leader in this. So I've been setting up as part of my Greenwich men's time meetup sort of check-ins, so guys can come and just hang out, because I feel that during this time what's going to be needed and continues to be needed more than ever is community and places for people just, and this isn't about coaching, this is about just showing up and saying what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Simple, like, so that's the I've sort of a men's speak. It's led by a mentor of mine, Kenny Mamarina de Cruz. Have been running these check-ins ever since it kicked off, every day, every weekday, sort of lunchtime, and it's like just spaces for guys to hang out, because that's what we need at the moment in certain circles. Just somewhere we can just say, well, this is shit at the moment for me, and this is what's on my mind, and just have a space to share that. So that's kind of another sort of takeaway really from
Yeah, man.
that
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we have got a question from one of our listeners.
Yeah.
I think you're holding that over there. Something to flesh out a bit before we sort of talk about sort of future MOF plans and where we're going to be heading, sort of moving into sort of back end of 2020.
Yeah, man. I got this message on Instagram from someone that's a listener. I know Paul himself, and he says sacrificing family time and personal time for a better paying job, which will ultimately set up my family for a better future. So he's asking the question, a topic for the podcast, specifically sacrificing family time and personal time for a better paying job, which will ultimately set up my family for the future. What's your thoughts on that, Clive?
Okay.
So basically what he's saying, about
one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah. Would you sacrifice your family time and sacrificing family time and personal time for a better paying job, basically? Would you give up your personal time and your family time for a better paying job?
Okay. So for me, this is about almost like cost benefit analysis.
Yeah.
So it's looking at the different sides of the coin. And then this is something I've been thinking about quite a lot recently, about currency, but not just the economic currency.
Mm-hmm.
So not just the pound coin, the personal currency in terms of time for yourself and health, and then also your family time currency, and looking at what's been taken and what's been added in those areas. So I don't have the answer to this question because this is a very personal question for me. And so it's about finding that answer that is in alignment with what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And if your head and your heart, you can find an answer that coordinates with your head and your heart, then that'll be the answer for you. So it might be that the answer for you might be that, yes, I would like to take the higher paid job, but I'm going to go and negotiate some reduced hours. For example, it might be I'm not going to take the higher paid job, etc. And it does also depend on personal circumstances, particularly if that higher paid job means that you can feed your family because you've got another baby and you weren't able to feed them with your previous job. That's a very different thing. So it's about looking at, and this is where a coach can really help. You sort of lay out the different currencies to different factors, and then do the cost benefit for you personally, and seeing if you can find that path that fits you. And it might be taking the job, and it might be not taking the job, but it's about finding that alignment, head and heart, because I can always think, well, having done the maths with my head, it's this answer, but then I can then feel a horrible feeling in my gut when I say, yes, I'm taking that job. So it's about sort of seeing if I can find alignment in that, and a coach will help you do that. So my first step, if I was looking at that, would be to get in contact with my coach and book a session, and he can see we can lay it out. He can see my blind spots. He might see things that I'm not seeing in that process, and then come into a sort of resonant conclusion, head and heart. That's me. What about you?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, man. I can't really explain it any better than you've explained it, really. Like, it's a personal preference, like, let's be really fucking honest here. Like, there's some people that really don't like their families much, and that would be a dream fucking job because they'd be out of the house a lot more. That's true, man. And there's other facts like myself where I wouldn't take the job. I actually got, when I was working on building sites, and I was picking up work, and I was working for some people while I was kind of building my practice, and that, I think it was about 2 years ago, actually. I think it was back about 2 years ago. And paying me really good money. It's paying really good money. But I was going out of the house at 7 in the morning, getting picked up at 7 in the morning, and not getting home until 6, 7 o'clock at night. And I'd done that for about 2 weeks, and I was just like, that's it for me. Right? I'd rather go and earn less money, a little bit less money, and be home at a decent time to spend time with my family. But I also understand the fact that people are willing to do that. They are willing to do that. I think the problem is, Clive, is like what you just said there. Not a lot of people give it we live in a society of people react. And it's very easy to have an emotional attachment reaction when someone dangles the carrot with a lot of money on it.
Yep.
But the thing is, when the carrot's dangled with a lot of money in it, like a family member of ours. My wife says, "Oh, but they're earning this amount of money," and I'm like, "Yeah, they do earn that money. They earn a fucking lot of money." But do you ever see them not working? Weekends they're working. They're always working. They get home from work and they're working till late at night. Is that the life that you want? Like, is that what you want? Because it's not what I would want, right? And I would say, I 5.5 years ago, the little life that I built around my business was very much like that. I sacrificed my family for money, and then this time round, I've done it very differently. So, personal preference, man, definitely you can hit the nail on the head, but also as well for me, I wouldn't.
I mean, there's so much more details that need to be laid out in terms of what the job was and what it would involve and everything.
But you got to think a little bit more about that
situation. But it is that there is a natural sort of, like you said, reactive response that I've had in the past, and I know a proportion of people have had, where it's like the reaction is more money equals good.
Yeah.
And because if I don't know how much I need, if I don't know how much money I require, the answer is always more.
Mm-hmm.
And not considering the other currencies.
Yeah.
How much currency do you put on your health? How much currency do you put on time with your family, and how that feeds you or not? And it's like looking at that things. And it might be like my position might be, I negotiate with my wife that I am going to take this job, and I'm not going to be around that much for the next, or my partner, I'm not going to be around for the next 3 months that much, but then I'll do a review and say, right, this isn't working or is working. And then I might say, well, now I've proved myself to that new person, I might go back and negotiate and say, do you know what, I'm loving this, but this isn't working for me. So can I negotiate that I now don't Fridays?
Yeah.
That's just another.
Yeah. Well, I've
so
been
much more there, but it's good question, Paul.
Yeah,
by the way, really good question.
And it'd be a good episode to do a whole episode on. And I've been in the boat. I've been in both sides of it. I've done that 5.5 years ago. Would I choose to go back to that now? No, I wouldn't.
But what I would have done in the past is try and work it out on my own. And what I now do is immediately get someone with get a second pair of eyes on it, whether it's a coach or mentor or friend. For me, it's my coach, and we'll just work it out, and we'll find a way. So,
money's a big charge for people, and it's like you said there, Clive, and you hit now on the head, like, more money equals more happiness, but that's not always the case, because there's a lot.
I mean, I had Spurs coming for me. I'm not playing second fiddle to Kane, man.
No,
and I want.
I refuse.
I don't want 120 a week. I want Kane's money. I want his shirt. So I'm not sitting on the bench playing second fiddle, man. So I have to look elsewhere.
I refuse to play for only 200k a week, mate. I refuse to do it. It's not happening. Just all that training and game time on Saturday. I just refuse to do it, mate.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But it's a good question, man. It's a good question.
Very good question.
A personal preference, man, and it's what you want from your life, and that's why, like, that is being very clear on what do you want in life. Because if you don't know what you want, you're not really going to make you're probably not. You're not going to make a very. What's the best way to say it? An informed judgment, unless you really know what's most important and what you want from your life.
Yeah, what's the vision?
Yeah, what's the vision?
Where do you want to be in 3 months' time when you're in this job?
Yeah.
What support have you got and everything else? Cool.
Yeah, cool, man.
No, good question, Paul. So, sort of looking forward now, just share with the listeners what's coming up in the summer from the Men on Form, because we are going to go into an off season where me and Michael are going to be essentially recording some episodes and starting to put together the sort of playlist for season 3 of the Men on Form in the autumn.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to be continuing with the Facebook Lives on the page here. So if you do have questions you want to ask us, you can get them into us on the page, or you can contact us through the page, or at menonform@gmail.com, or on either of mine and Michael's social media feeds. What we're going to be doing is sort of also pointing to some of our we've got a lot of episodes sort of in season 1 that's still getting some good traction. So we're going to be sort of just talking, pointing back to some of those in some of these Facebook Lives, and then in the background, me and Mike will be beavering away, sort of teeing up the playlist for the autumn, and getting everything edited so we can really sort of come back with a bang when that autumn equinox kicks off, sort of mid to late September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Got anything more on that? I mean, that's kind of where I'm seeing it.
No, man, no. I think you covered that, man. No, I've got nothing to add on that. I was just sitting there thinking as you was talking, I was sitting there thinking about it would be great for our listeners. It'd be great for our listeners because obviously we're going to continue. We're going to go and bring up some old episodes and that. It'd be great for our listeners and the people that are following us and getting value from our stuff. If you wouldn't mind popping over to on iTunes and giving us a review, or maybe sharing episodes with people that that would benefit from this, man, just to help us spread the word. Because like I say, we're doing this, we enjoy doing this, but we're also putting this out there because we want to get this information out there to help as many people as possible. And the more kind of reviews we get, or the more likes we get, or the more shares we get, we're making that more possible, man. So we're
definitely, and we're a work in progress as well, always.
Yeah.
So if there's the other side to that, if you sort of, maybe there's an episode that you think you'd enjoy, or there's something that you think we're not doing that we could be doing. We do have future plans around merch. I mentioned it to Michael, some kind of merchandise, whether that's a bandana, a muscle vest, maybe some Bermuda shorts,
flip flops, mankini and flip flops,
whatever it is. It'll be ridiculous, has to be, and it will involve being on form. And then some kind of live event. We were looking at that at the end of this season. That hasn't happened for one of the sort of madness of the last 3 months. But we are looking to definitely host a live event of some kind in the future. And that'll potentially come off the back of season 3, maybe something in the new year. That we'll do some kind of Men on Form sort of 2021 Kickstarter event. And whether that'll be in person or an online piece, waits to be seen in terms of how obviously everything moves in the future. But that is still there, and so we'll obviously nearer the time when that comes online, we'll be inviting guys to sort of connect there, and then that'll be an opportunity to sort of go deeper and have some experiences and do some live coachings, and we'll get some, potentially me and Michael will get some of our sort of contacts, fellow coaches, other experts in to kind of really put together an event.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Like we've said about, that's kind of been our vision for a while with it, to doing a day event or something like that, right? At some point, where people get to come and greet us and meet us, and we get to see some of the listeners' faces. So that'd be really cool, man. That'd be really cool. I don't know how that quite work out for our listeners abroad. I think, didn't you say we got one in Afghanistan or something like that? Yeah.
We're worldwide, mate. And I was going to say, if it doesn't become hiring out the Excel Centre or Earls Court or White Hart Lane to host it, you can probably just come and meet me and Michael down at the sort of Pitsea McDonald's or on the South End seafront there. Come and hang out with us in the arcades and shoot the breeze.
Shoot the breeze, on the punch bag. Come meet us at the punch bag.
Come meet us, just do a little punch bag competition in the arcades down at South End. It may either or. We're everywhere. So
whatever, we're not fussy.
We are not fussy. But cool, man. So that's it for the show, really. Have you got anything else, Michael? I mean, what's going on in your own practice at the moment? Where can guys find out? Because I know you've been running these groups, man. I know you've been getting some traction. Where can guys find out more about what you're doing, particularly with regards to sort of your men's groups?
Basically, just reach out, message me on Facebook, on my Facebook page. That's probably the best place. Just when you click on the message, it says "Get Started," and just send me a message, and we can have a conversation on there, and then maybe it'll lead to us jumping on a call and seeing how I can help you and support you. Helping a lot of guys at the moment that are taking back control of how they're thinking and feeling and upgrading their mindset, man. That's kind of like, where I'm at with it, being better fathers, being better husbands, and basically getting a shit back together. So, that's kind of the foundations of my work and what I'm doing at the moment, and getting some really good results, man. Like I said to you, like the guys that are, rekindling their relationship with their kids, and and taking action, and getting in shape and exercising. People that are running that ain't been running for ages. Just there's so many different things that are happening for people. Everyone's journey is different, but there's nothing quite like you said there, Clive. Like with Paul's question, there's nothing like being in a community of like-minded men that are going to hold you accountable and push you. And I was saying to the guys in the group, it's like the community that I'm building with you guys that are coming in is is the guys that I want to be around, guys that are pushing themselves, the guys that, you know, in our little competitions that we have, that they're dropping points and getting pissed off of it. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Glad you're getting pissed off of it because it's going to push you to do more, right? And I love that, man, you know, and the guys that are sharing their stories about, you know, with their daughters and their kids and the things that they're getting up to on Father's Day and stuff like that, man, it's fucking great, you know, it's great.
No,
So,
it's good. It's good stuff, man. Totally resonate with what you're saying there around sort of the support of being in a group of guys. I started my coaching career with working with groups as well. Haven't for a while now. Looking to come back online in the autumn. But like you've said, when you get that group of guys who are all sort of pushing each other and wanting sort of better for themselves or growth, then yeah, like iron sharpens iron. So.
yeah,
Is that it? Iron sharpens iron.
iron's, yeah, still, is it still iron, still such, steel on steel, steel on steel, steel sharpens, steel sharpens. I know I've got the
Something sharpens something, and you get a load of guys in the room. Something sharpens something.
Something fucking sharpens something. I don't know. Because I've got it on here, man. Because it was on my first group that I ever done. It was hold on. Here we go. Find it here. It was like the status, opening status of the group. There's a mutual benefit of rubbing of two iron blades together. The edges become sharp, making the knives more effective in their task to cut and slice. Cut and slice. It's with that we are sharpening one another in terms of meeting, fellowship, and other interactions. But yeah, it's as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. That's it.
Here you go.
As iron sharpens iron, as one man.
So if you want to sharpen some iron, head over to Michael Hilton on Facebook. Contact him through the page if you want, or anywhere, yeah, on a soch.
What about yourself, Clive?
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm carrying on. I'm doing a lot of one-to-one work at the moment. Been working with a lot of guys around, particularly career. I think at the moment with a lot of what's been going on, a lot of people are looking at their careers, looking at what they're doing with their work, and maybe looking to transition or develop there. So I work with guys on primary three areas on career, health, and relationships. 99% of my work slots into one of those sort of three areas. So all my stuff's over at www.mensactionproject.com, www.mensactionproject.com. If you head over there, all my stuff's on there. And as part of my service, offer a complimentary 45-minute taster session where we can explore our potential as a match. You get to have a coaching. We do sort of a mini sort of 15-20-minute coaching in there, so you can get an experience of what coaching is. So if you feel coaching can really support you at the moment, and you feel we might be a match, then that's where to head to. You can book that on the page itself as well. You can actually, all the slots are open. Slots that are open are on there, and you can sort of book in. And then we can spend that 45 minutes sort of looking at what's going on for you. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm looking to come online with a sort of group coaching offering in the autumn. My focus is on a one-to-one at the moment. So
yeah, good, man.
Yeah,
good
stuff, man. So other than that, man, end of season 2.
Have you got any parting words? Anything first?
It's been emotional, man.
It's good to have been back, mate. It's good to be back.
It has been good to be back. It's been a real ride, this one. I think we learned a lot along the way, and a bit of a mini evolution. Definitely. I'm excited to continue to build. I'm excited to start to sort of integrate some merchandise, some future events, and primarily stay consistent with Men on Form in the future. Me and Michael are going to keep on keeping on, man.
Yep, keep on.
That's it. We're going to keep on keeping on. So we'll see you, we'll see you next week here. We'll see you in sort of, 30 years time, walking up and down the Southend Pier on our personal development pier walks. We're going to be here for a long time.
I was trying to think of something catchy. Someone actually had there was someone that I know as a lady that was a coach, and she used to do coaching. And one of her coaching sessions was along the pier in Southend. So she used to walk up and down.
There you go, man. She's already there.
She coached people walking up and down the pier, and she had a really catchy phrase for it. And I was trying to think what it is. But I can't remember it. It was really good. It was like,
does it involve iron and sharpening iron?
No, I didn't.
No.
No, nothing like
It's
that.
obviously not that good then.
No, it wasn't as good as that. But she had a really catchy phrase. I was like, I really like that. But yeah, something on the pier, clarity on the pier or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
It's there, man. All right, well, you just come see my about 30 years time. You'll see me and Mike come to the end of go to the end of Southend Pier. In 30 years time, you see me and Michael there coaching people, man. Mark my words. All
Yeah.
right, much love all. One more thing to say, and that is if you're on form
Stay on form.
and if you're off form,
Get back on form.
do and be well all.
Donny the douche.
Woohoo!